Module 4 Recursive Functions. Recursion is the process which comes into existence when a function calls a copy of itself to work on a smaller problem. Any function which calls itself is called recursive function. That is, the function calls itself until certain conditions are not satisfied. Let's see the example of factorial. General form to find out the factorial of a given number is n factorial is equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to 1. If I consider n is equal to 5, then n factorial, that is 5 factorial, is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, totally 120. So 5 factorial is equal to 120. Let's see how to write the code to get the same value using recursion. See the program. Starts with the header file, then function declaration. So here we are using the function name factorial. Parameter is n. Within the main, declare the local variables. Take the input from the user, that is enter a number. Let me consider n is equal to 5. So next is fact is equal to factorial of n. So here we are considering the variable fact to store the value of factorial. That is fact is equal to factorial of n. Factorial of n is nothing but 5. Factorial of 5. So here we are calling the function factorial. Now jump to the function definition, that is int factorial of int n. So for this function we are passing the value 5. First check the condition. If n equal to 0, so value of n is 5. Is 5 equal to 0? No, it is false. So jump to the else part. That is written n into factorial of n minus 1. That is 5 into factorial of 5 minus 1. That is factorial of 4. Here we are calling the function factorial again. So now this is the recursive function. That is, the process of calling a function by itself is called recursion. The function which calls itself is called recursion function. Here it is written 5 into factorial of 4. Again for this 4, check the condition. Is 4 equal to 0? No. Again jump for the else part. That is written n into factorial of n minus 1. Now factorial of 4 is replaced by 4 into factorial of 4 minus 1. That is factorial of 3. Now the entire code is written 5 into written 4 into factorial of 3. Again in this code we are calling the function factorial. Again we are calling the same function. This is a recursion. Again substitute the value for factorial of 3. So that is we are calling the function again. So check the condition. If n equal to 0, so n is 3 here. Is 3 equal to 0? No. So jump to the else part. So now 3 is replaced by 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1. That is 3 into factorial of 2. The entire statement is written 5 into written of 4 into written of 3 into factorial of 2. Now again we have to evaluate factorial of 2. That is call the function factorial. For the function factorial we are passing the n value as 2. Check the condition. Is 2 equal to 0? No. So jump to the else part. That is written n into factorial of n minus 1. That is 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1, that is 1. Now the entire statement is written 5 into written of 4 into written of 3 into written of 2 into factorial 1. Now again we need to replace factorial 1. Again check the condition. Is 1 equal to 0? No. So factorial 1 is replaced by 1 into factorial of 1 minus 1, that is the else part. So 1 into factorial of 1 minus 1 is 0, factorial of 0. So now the code is written of 5 into written of 4 into written of 3 into written of 2 into 1 into factorial 0. For the function factorial, we are passing the n value as 0. Now check the condition. If n equal to 0, n is 0. Is 0 equal to 0? Yes. Written 1. Now factorial of 0 is replaced by 1. Now the statement is written of 5 into written of 4 into written of 3 into written of 2 into 1 into 1. That is 2 into 1 is 2. Now write all the written values. So finally you will get written of 5 into written of 4 into 6, that is 24. That is finally written of 5 into 24, totally 120. Written 120. Now this is the value we are getting from the function. So pass this value to the main function. So in the main function we have a printf statement, that is factorial is percentage d fact. Now the variable fact has a value 120. So factorial is 120. In the function we are calling the factorial again and again. So this is known as recursive function. Go through the tracing which is given in the next PPT. Example for recursive function is Fibonacci series. So Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where a number is found by adding the two numbers before it. That is, it adds previous two numbers value to compute the next number value. For example, if I consider n is equal to 3, first two numbers are fixed, that is 0th term is 0, first term is 1. So first two values are fixed, 0 and 1. Now in order to get the third term, we need to add previous two values, that is 1 plus 0. So the third value is 1. So now for n is equal to 3, the Fibonacci series are 0, 1, 1. If I consider n is equal to 5, the first 5 terms of Fibonacci series are 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. That is, first two numbers are 0 and 1. Now in order to get the third value, we need to add the previous two numbers. That is 1 plus 0. So the third value is 1. Now in order to get the fourth value, we need to add the previous two values. That is 1 plus 1, that is 2. Now again, to get the fifth term, we need to add the previous two numbers, that is 2 and 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So now the Fibonacci series are 0, 1, 1, 2, 3 for n is equal to 5 and so on. So that is nothing but the general form for this is n is equal to x n minus 1 plus x n minus 2. That is adding the previous two terms to get the present value. Let's see the example. Initially we have done the function declaration, that is int Fibonacci of int n. Then in the main function we are reading the value of n. So let me consider n is equal to 5. Then Fibonacci series is, so for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So here n value is 5. So initial value of I is 0. Check the condition. I is equal to 0. Is 0 less than 5? Yes. So go for the next statement, that is x is equal to Fibonacci of I. So that is x is equal to Fibonacci of 0. So now we are calling the function Fibonacci here. So jump to the function declaration. It is int Fibonacci of int n. Check the condition. If n is equal to 0, so now here Fibonacci of I, so I is equal to 0. The same value is passed for the function. So here within the function we are taking the variable as n. So now value of n is 0. So is 0 equal to 0? Yes. So the written value is 0. That is the first term of Fibonacci series is 0. So go to the main function and display the value of x, that is 0. Again increment the value of I by 1. Now I is equal to 1. Check the condition. Is 1 less than 5? Yes. So x is equal to Fibonacci of 1. Now for the function Fibonacci we are passing the value 1. Again check the condition. Is 1 equal to 0? No. Go for the else if part. Is 1 is equal to 1? Yes. So return the value 1. So this value is passed from function to the main function. So print the value of x. So x is equal to 1. Now in the output screen we have two values. First value is 0, the second value is 1. Now again increment the value of I by 1. I is equal to 2. Is 2 less than 5? Yes. So pass the same value to the function. So call the function. Check the condition. If 2 is equal to 0, false. So go for the else if part. Is 2 equal to 1? That is also false. So now go for the else part. That is return Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. That is return Fibonacci of 2 minus 1 plus Fibonacci of 2 minus 2. Return Fibonacci of 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. Nothing but now within the function we are calling the Fibonacci function again. So now this is the recursive function. The function calls itself again and again. Now what is the code here? Return of Fibonacci of 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. Now again we need to find out the value of Fibonacci of 1 and 0. So call the function. For the function we are passing the value 1. So now n is equal to 1. Check the condition. Is 1 equal to 0? No. Go for the else if part. Is 1 is equal to 1? Yes. So return 1. That is Fibonacci of 1 is 1. Now same for the Fibonacci 0. So that is Fibonacci of 0 is 0. So now return 1 plus 0, that is 1. So this value is passed for the main function. Now the x value is 1. So display the value of it. Now in the output screen we'll get 3 values. 3 terms are displayed on the output screen, that is 0, 1, 1. Again increment the value of I by 1. I is equal to 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes. So pass the value n value, that is 3, to the function. Check the condition. Is 3 is equal to 0? No. Go for the else part. Is 3 is equal to 1? No. Now go for the else part. Return Fibonacci of 3 minus 1 plus Fibonacci of 3 minus 2. That is return Fibonacci of 2 plus Fibonacci of 1. So again we need to call the function to find out the value of Fibonacci 2 and Fibonacci 1. Now Fibonacci 2. Check the condition. That is 2 equal to 0? No. Is 2 equal to 1? No. So go for the else part. That is Fibonacci of 2 is written as Fibonacci of 2 minus 1 plus Fibonacci of 2 minus 2. That is Fibonacci of 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. Fibonacci of 1 is 1. Fibonacci of 0 is 0. That is again we are calling the same function. That is for the Fibonacci function Fibonacci we are passing the value 1 as well as 0. Next Fibonacci of 1, that is the second part. 1 is 1 itself. So for this value, that is n is equal to 3, we'll get return 2. So on the output screen we'll get 4 values as 0, 1, 1, 2. Now again increment the value of I by 1. I is equal to 4. Is 4 less than 5? True. Again pass the value for function that is 4. Again check the condition. If 4 equal to 0, no. Else if. Is 4 equal to 1? No. Go for the else section. That is written Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. That is here written Fibonacci of 4 minus 1 plus Fibonacci of 4 minus 2. That is written Fibonacci of 3 plus Fibonacci of 2. So again we are calling the function Fibonacci to find out the value of 3 as well as Fibonacci 2. Again check all the condition. Fibonacci of 3. First consider the first part, that is Fibonacci of 3. Is 3 equal to 0? No. Is 3 equal to 1? No. Again go for else part. That is Fibonacci 3 is replaced by Fibonacci of 3 minus 1 plus Fibonacci of 3 minus 2. That is Fibonacci of 2 plus Fibonacci of 1. Now this Fibonacci of 2, again we need to call the function Fibonacci. That is we need to pass these values for the function. Now Fibonacci 2 is replaced by Fibonacci of 2 minus 1, that is 1, plus Fibonacci of 2 minus 2, that is Fibonacci of 0. Now this Fibonacci of 2 is replaced by Fibonacci of 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. Again pass the same value for the function, that is Fibonacci of 1 is 1, Fibonacci of 0 is 0. So now Fibonacci of 2 is nothing but Fibonacci of 1. The second part, that is Fibonacci of 1. That is directly we are getting that value as Fibonacci of 1 is 1. Now the second part of the main function, that is Fibonacci of 2, that is replaced by Fibonacci of 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. So Fibonacci of 1 is 1, Fibonacci of 0 is 0. So that part is 1. So that is written 1. Now finally we will get the value as written of 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1. That is finally written of 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 3. So now this value, final value is passed for the main function. So that is the value of x. Now on the output screen we will get 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Now again increment the value of I by 1, that is I is equal to 5. Is 5 less than 5? No, it is false. So terminate the program. So this program is traced in detail. Just go through the PPTs. Taking the same example, the same program is traced clearly in the next slide. Just go through it. Options for binary to decimal conversion. We have to read a binary number, then we have to convert that into decimal value using the concept of recursive function. For example, if we consider the binary value as 101, its decimal value is 5. 1001, 9. 1000 is 8. 0100 is 4. Let's see the program. Declare the function binary to decimal. Declare the variables binary num, decimal num. That is binary number and decimal number are considered as long int. Next, enter a binary number. So read a binary value. So let me consider the binary value as 101. Next, decimal number is equal to binary to decimal of binary number. So now for the function binary to decimal, we are passing the input value. So input is 101. So whatever the final value we'll get, that will be stored in the variable decimal num. Now decimal num is equal to binary to decimal of binary num. So we are calling a function binary to decimal. Go to function binary to decimal. Binary to decimal of int num. So for this function we are passing the value 101. Now the number, that is binary number, is equal to 101. Now check the condition. If not of num divided by 10, then return num. If the evaluated value is true or 1 or any integer, its negation, that is not of true or not of 1, means 0. That is, when you are evaluating, that is num divided by 10, if the value, if the condition is true, then we need to find out its negation. That is, negation of true is false. In such case, we need to go for the second written statement, that is for the else part. In case if the condition is true, that is when you are evaluating the expression num divided by 10, if the value is 0, that is nothing but false, then find out the negation. So negation of 0, that is not of 0 or not of false, is true. Then in such condition we have to execute the first written statement, that is return of num. Let's see with the example. Now num is equal to 101. Check the condition. If not of num divided by 10, so that is 101 divided by 10 is 10. So 10, it is a non-zero value. So not of 10 is false, because not of true, not of something is some integer value is 0. So that is false. So go to the next written statement. Is execute return of num modulus 10 plus binary to decimal of num divided by 10 into 2. That is return of 101 modulus 10 plus binary to decimal of 101 divided by 10 into 2. That is 101 modulus 10 is 1. Now binary to decimal of 101 divided by 10. So 101 divided by 10 is 10. So now again we need to call the function. Now this is a recursive function. So what we are getting here? Return of 1 plus binary to decimal of 10 into 2. Now again for the function binary to decimal, we need to pass value num, that is 10. 10 is passed for the binary to decimal function. And for this section, check the condition. If not of num divided by 10. Now in this case, number is 10. So 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 is nothing but true. Not of true or not of 1 is false. So go to the else part or for the second written statement. That is return of 10 modulus 10 plus binary to decimal 10 divided by 10 into 2. Now the entire statement becomes return of 1 plus return of 10 modulus 10 plus binary to decimal 10 divided by 10 into 2 4 into 2. So just substitute this for the previous statement. Evaluate the entire thing, that is return of 1 plus return of 0 plus binary to decimal of 1 into 2 into 2. Again we have one more recursive function in this statement, that is binary to decimal of 1. Again check the condition. If not of num divided by 10. Now in this case binary num is equal to 1. If not of 1 divided by 10, 1 divided by 10 is 0. 0 point something, since it is an integer, so it will consider the whole number, that is 0. Now, not of 0. 0 is false, so not of false is true. Now, in this case, the if condition is true because not of 0, not of false is true. So now, if true, return num. So that is execute the next immediate statement. Now in this case, what is the value of num? That is 1. So return num. Now substitute the same value in the expression, that is return of 1 plus return of 1 into 2 into 2. So finally you'll get return of 1 plus 4, that is return 5. Pass this value, that is 5, to the main function. That is print the value of decimal. This binary number is 101 and equivalent decimal number is 5. Just go through the tracing. So in the main function part, if not of num divided by 10, so that in case if that is evaluated as true, then execute the first return statement, that is return of num. And LCM of two numbers using recursion. Here you can find the manual calculation to find out the GCD and LCM of two numbers. So let me consider the two numbers as 6 and 12. GCD of 6 and 12 is 6. LCM of these two numbers is 12. Let's go through the program. So initially we have declared a function, the name GCD, and we have passed two parameters x and y. So then here we have declared the variables, that is n1, n2, HCF and LCM. The data type of these variables is integer. So next enter two integers. So let me consider two integers as 6 and 12. So that is n1 equal to 6 and n2 is equal to 12. So next HCF is equal to GCD of n1 comma n2. So here we are calling the function GCD. Then now the control will transfer from this line to here. So this is the function definition. The function definition, that is int GCD of int x comma int y. For this we are passing two parameters x and y. So n1 is nothing but x, n2 is nothing but y. So here what is the value of x? X is 6, y is 12. Now check the condition. If y equal to 0, if this condition is true, then we have to execute the statement, or else execute the second statement, that is else part. Now y equal to 12. Is 12 equal to 0? No, 12 is not equal to 0. So execute return GCD of y comma x mod y. So what is y? Y is 12. X is 6. So 12 comma 6 mod 12. So 6 mod 12 is 6. So here we get GCD of 12 comma 6. Now the same thing is passed for this function. So now first value is considered as x, second value is considered as y. So 12 is nothing but x. So x equal to 12, y equal to 6. Again check the condition. So y is 6. Is 6 equal to 0? No. So execute the statement, that is GCD of y. Y is 6. 6 comma x mod y, that is 12 mod 6. 12 mod 6 is 0 because 6 2s are 12. So 12 is completely divisible by 6. Remainder is 0. So GCD of 6 comma 0. So now what is GCD? So first value is considered when you are passing the elements for this function. First value is considered as x, second value is considered as y. So now x is equal to 6, y equal to 0. Now check the condition. If y equal to 0, yes, y is equal to 0. So 0 equal to 0. This is true. So return x. So what is the value of x? That is 6. Now after the complete execution of this function, we get the value as 6. Now this value is passed for the main function.
passed to the main function. Now HCF is equal to this GCD of n1 comma n2 is replaced by the value 6. Now print the statement, that is GCD of percentage %t comma percentage %t. So first percentage %t stands for n1, second for n2. So GCD of 6 comma 12 is equal to percentage %t. So now this will be replaced by the value of HCF, that is 6. So GCD of 6 comma 12 is 6. Second one, LCM. LCM is equal to n1 into n2 divided by HCF. What is n1? n1 is 6. n2 is 12. 6 into 12, that is 72, divided by HCF. HCF is 6 divided by 6. 72 by 6 is 12. So LCM of percentage %d comma percentage %d, that is 6 comma n1, value of n1 and value of n2, 6 comma 12 equal to percentage %d, that is 12. So LCM of 6 comma 12 equal to 12. So this is a concept of GCD and LCM using recursive function. So within this function, within the main function, that is GCD, here within this function we are calling the same function again and again. Now this is a recursive concept. So just go through the tracing.